The world is 99% energy, not matter. Everything is constantly changing, and everything is possible. Reality is simply what we focus on. Everything we know, see, and feel are just neural connections in our brain, and we can rewire them at any age. Bad moods and negative thoughts aren't a given, but are learned habits. Life either follows a survival script or a creative one, and the choice is ours. The brain can create a vivid, realistic image of our ideal self, which will then manifest into reality. Don't separate time for meditation from the rest of your day. If you think about your new personality for 30 minutes a day, but live according to the old one the rest of the time, no changes will happen. If you let anger or any other emotion take over your mind, you've lost. Understand this simple idea. Everything is available to you on your level of consciousness. If what you want isn't in your current reality, it's because it doesn't exist on your current level of consciousness. Change your consciousness, and what you want will become accessible to you. It already exists on some level. You're just not there yet.
Why doesn't anyone talk about the fact that scientists have proven we create our own reality? In 2022, physicists won the Nobel Prize for their work on quantum entanglement, which, in simple terms, means there is no such thing as objective reality. Nothing exists until we, as observers, perceive it with our consciousness. This knowledge flips our entire understanding of life. You've been programmed since birth with certain beliefs about the world, and you've taken them at face value. Now, you're automatically creating your reality based on these outdated templates. You work hard, get tired, and feel like there's never enough money, while there are people who view the world as abundant, easy, and rich, and they live in luxury now. Your perception creates the outer world, including other people. Your attention and the ability to choose what to focus on, no one can ever take that away from you. This is your power to create any world you want. We are used to thinking that time flows linearly, that the past is behind us, the future is yet to come, and the present is all we have. But quantum physics and philosophical teachings suggest that time and space are not fixed structures. They're flexible and dependent on our perception. Remember the moments when time seemed to slow down or speed up. When you lost yourself in an engaging activity, hours flew by. But when you were waiting for something important, minutes dragged on. These phenomena show that time is subjective. The same applies to space. Our thoughts and intentions can transcend any distance. This knowledge gives us great power. If time and space aren't rigid, we can change our perception of reality without being bound by usual limits.
Each moment carries infinite potential, and the future is not predetermined. Everything depends on how you choose to perceive it.
Since childhood, you've been taught that the world around you is an objective, unchanging reality. But what if it's not? What if the reality you perceive is actually formed by your attention and perception? Imagine, there's no objective reality that exists outside of your perception. Everything you see, hear, and feel arises the moment your attention is directed at it. Now, realizing that you're not just a participant in reality, but its creator, you can truly control what happens around you. Reality isn't fixed. Your perception and attention create everything you see. Attention is the most powerful tool you have, and it's directly linked to how you create your reality. Manifestation isn't a mystical process, but a natural result of where you direct your attention. What you focus on grows and intensifies. When you consciously direct your attention to what you want to manifest, whether it's financial abundance, health, or success, you create the energetic space for it to appear in your reality. This isn't just empty words. Experiments show that our mind genuinely influences physical objects. It's important to consciously choose your thoughts and mental images, as they become a magnet for what happens in your life.
If you don't understand something, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
In physics, there's a law that states if you have energy vibrating at a certain frequency, within 17 seconds, similar energy will be attracted to it. So, if you have a positive or negative thought, energy of that nature will gather. This creates momentum. All our emotions vibrate at a particular frequency. Despair, anger, or anxiety, these are low, dense frequencies. Whereas contentment, happiness, joy, love, these are higher, faster frequencies. Let's say your usual state is contentment. This is your baseline. Now, imagine you're driving on the highway, and someone cuts you off, and you get angry. You're now in a lower, denser frequency. Then you return to the office and tell all your coworkers what happened, spreading that energy. When you get home, you tell your spouse about it. What are you doing? You're vibrating with anger. Then you go to the supermarket, and someone in front of you has 38 items, while you only have 3. The cashier is new and slow. Is that a coincidence? No. It's something to make you angrier. You attract what resonates within you. So, wherever your thoughts are, that's the reality you create. When you realize your role in creating reality, the question arises, how do you use this knowledge to create a life free from fear, full of possibilities and joy? Let's start with the basics. Fear is merely a product of the mind. Any fear exists only as long as you give it power. It's crucial to learn to see fears but not let them control you. Each time you face fear or doubt, stop and ask yourself, why am I afraid? What does this give me? Most fears stem from false beliefs that can be transformed. As you gradually replace them with positive, empowering thoughts, you'll notice that fear loses its grip. Practice mindful decision-making. With every step forward, no matter how small, you'll see your confidence grow. Accept this simple truth: your outer world reflects what's happening inside you. When you start managing your inner state, the outer world begins to change. Become the observer.
The only thing standing between you and your goal is the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't achieve it.
What is the future? The future is intangible. It does not exist in reality but as a mental projection. The same applies to the past, which is gone and exists only as a memory or symbol. These concepts challenge the traditional notion of time as a form of material existence. Einstein's theory of relativity demonstrated that time is not absolute. It is relative and depends on factors such as velocity and gravity. For instance, time passes slower for an astronaut traveling in space compared to a person on Earth. This phenomenon is known as time dilation. Some philosophers argue that time is merely an illusion created by human consciousness to organize events. Others view time as a measure of change that helps us track the sequence of events. In essence, Time is a concept we rely on to bring order to our lives. Without this construct, our understanding of reality would descend into chaos. According to the block universe theory, all points in time, past, present, and future, exist simultaneously. This idea is also supported by Einstein's relativity, which suggests that time is a dimension like space, and all events exist in a four-dimensional block of spacetime. In this framework, the future is not something that is created moment by moment, it already exists. It's best to imagine this concept as a cube. At one end is the Big Bang, which marked the beginning of spacetime, and at the other is the death of the universe. Between these two ends are all the events that have ever happened and ever will happen. And they are all happening right now. Whatever you do tomorrow will just make tomorrow what it is and what it always has been. You can imagine a book where each page represents a moment in time. You read this book gradually, being on a specific word at a specific moment, and you move towards the end. And what you've already read, and what you will read in this book, will exist regardless of which page you're on. The book has already been written. Does this mean you don't have free will? No, you do, but your choices are already accounted for and have already happened in the future. The manifestation of your desires is directly connected to your magical perception. You must feel as though you already have what you want. You need to sense, see, and imagine that the energy of your desire is already present in your space, and in turn, it will attract what you want directly into your life. The key to successful manifestation is not just visualizing what you want, but also feeling as if it has already happened. Your emotions are the fuel for manifestation. The more joy, love, and satisfaction you feel when imagining your desire, the faster it will come into your life. Imagine what it feels like, how it looks, and what emotions are triggered by what you desire. How do you imagine yourself once you have what you want? It's important to anchor that state of joy and satisfaction in your body, because that's what creates a magnetic field to attract your desires. However, manifestation is not just about dreaming, it's an active process. Take steps that bring you closer to your goal.
Most people live up to 70, maybe 80. Some die at 60, or even at 50, if they were slaves to their passions. But on average, people live just over 70 years. Let's say you live until 90. Multiply that by 365. You get 32,850. Your whole life passes in less than 33,000 days. What's worse? Subtract 3,650. That's 10 years you won't really live. The first 4 at the beginning and 6 at the end. That leaves 29,200. And in a day, there are 24 hours, and we all love to sleep. But let's say we spend 8 hours sleeping. A third of those 29,200 days goes up in smoke. That leaves 19,466 days. Less than 3,000 weeks. To be exact, 2,780. So, How was your week?